50 Cent has once again blown the lid off the BMF saga, this time accusing Lil Meech of robbing the organization of $10 million, allegedly with Rick Ross's help. In a fiery Instagram rant, 50 claimed he uncovered financial records showing secret deals, missing funds, and suspicious transfers tied to BMF accounts. According to him, the betrayal runs deep, and Ross was the mastermind behind it all. "They played with my name and Meech's legacy for a check," 50 wrote, calling out both men for turning BMF into a personal hustle. Insiders say 50 had been suspicious for months, noticing discrepancies in contracts and payouts related to the BMF TV series and associated merchandise. The accusations have sent shockwaves through social media, with fans demanding answers from both camps. Lil Meech has not yet publicly responded, but sources claim he's furious and preparing to set the record straight. As for Rick Ross, he's remained silent, which only fueled speculation that there's truth to 50's claims. With $10 million allegedly missing and trust completely shattered, the BMF empire faces another scandal threatening to tear its legacy apart for good. Now, with Rick Ross stepping into the picture and private messages being exposed, 50 Cent is facing the fallout in a major way. But before all the betrayal and backstabbing began, there was opportunity, and it was 50 who opened that door wide.
Do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Fuqua, what's up? Tarantino. It's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big. I can feel it. I'm just talking.
When 50 Cent handpicked Demetrius Lil Meech Flenory Jr. to portray his own father, the legendary Big Meech, in the Starz hit series BMF, it wasn't just casting. It was a life-changing decision that redefined two generations. At that time, Lil Meech wasn't an actor at all. He was grinding as a rapper, struggling to find his lane in the entertainment world. Hollywood wasn't calling, but 50 saw something different, untapped potential. He invested heavily in that vision, sending Lil Meech to acting school for 2 straight years, personally covering every expense and mentoring him every step of the way to prepare him for true stardom. But that was just the start of something bigger. Behind the curtain, 50 Cent began channeling serious money toward the Flenory family, helping them re-establish themselves through legitimate business. According to 50, he helped them legally secure over $5 million in clean income, funds that could rebuild their lives and strengthen their future foundation. This wasn't simply about television. 50 had a grander vision, one that included spin-offs, documentaries, and film adaptations.
Thinking the dude was gonna do right by him and give him a bag and help him out and stuff like that, and he ended up being in the same spot and probably worse right now. Because just say this, man, just say if he would have held his head with 50 now, right? I don't know if 50 would have fucked with him, but 50 would have been like, yo, Tammy, leave that alone, man. Don't put that on that dude. You know what I'm saying? And 50 wouldn't have been behind it. The only reason this shit grew the way it grew against Meech is because...
If everything landed the way he planned, the BMF brand could easily pull in between $30 to $50 million in verified legal revenue. For a family whose legacy was rooted in the streets, this was their golden ticket, a complete transformation of reputation into sustainable power. While Big Meech served time behind bars, he witnessed his son rise to stardom, carrying his name across mainstream media. This time, the spotlight wasn't tied to the streets, it was tied to Hollywood. And the man behind that transformation wasn't a lawyer, an old associate, or even a street icon. It was 50 Cent, the strategist who revived the BMF legacy and turned it into a blueprint for legitimate success and generational wealth.
His jewelry.
What's the pendant cost?
3, just for the pendant.
But that's only part of the story. 50 Cent didn't just keep the BMF brand alive. He did it with precision and humility. For years, he remained silent about the millions he poured in, the careers he built, and the opportunities he created. He didn't demand recognition or public credit, not until now, because suddenly everything shifted. The questions started flooding in. Why is 50 so pressed about the money and respect he's owed? The biggest theory making rounds is simple. He wasn't just helping, he was investing. He wasn't chasing a short-term check. He was building a long-term empire from the ground up. Every move, every risk, every dollar was a calculated bet that BMF would become something monumental. But when that foundation started crumbling through betrayal, disloyalty, and shifting alliances, that quiet patience turned into open frustration. Even Rick Ross jumped into the conversation, throwing shade with his signature confidence. Ross claimed 50 was taking the loss personally, but he didn't stop there. He went for the jugular. His shots were pointed, disrespectful, and designed to hit 50 where it hurt the most: pride, legacy, and loyalty. The real turning point came when Big Meech was finally released from prison in October.
I look at the computer say, Floyd said, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance. Say that nigga.
After years behind bars, the man who built one of the most infamous drug empires in American history was free again. But with that freedom came new power plays, loyalty tests, and industry politics that completely disrupted the balance 50 had spent years constructing. Everyone assumed that Meech's release would mark a massive reunion, a powerful moment for hip-hop and television alike. Fans expected photo ops, press tours, maybe even a new BMF documentary co-signed by the real Big Meech himself. It was supposed to be the next evolution of the brand, but what happened instead? It blindsided the entire industry and left 50 Cent reeling from a betrayal no one saw coming. Meech didn't make his first public move with 50 Cent. Instead, he stepped out with Rick Ross, the same Rick Ross who's been 50's sworn rival for more than a decade. And this wasn't a casual meetup or an industry coincidence. They were side by side, hosting exclusive events, attending car shows, and even headlining a full-scale welcome home concert together. The images spread fast across social media, Meech grinning next to Ross, embracing him like a lifelong ally. But noticeably absent was any mention of 50. No thank you post, no shout out, no acknowledgement, just silence. And that silence spoke volumes. It wasn't an oversight. It was a deliberate public snub.
But look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long?
To many watching, it felt like calculated betrayal, a message sent loud and clear that new alliances were being formed. At first, 50 held his tongue. But anyone who knows his pattern understands, when 50 Cent goes quiet, he's not backing down, he's reloading. It's never peace, it's preparation. The question soon followed, where did all the money go? According to 50, it definitely wasn't sitting in the family's accounts. He claimed he helped the Flenory family secure over $5 million in legitimate income from the BMF project. Real checks, clean deals, legal profits. 50 even addressed it directly online, posting, "Why old boy ain't look out for me? I sent him to acting school." Then he doubled down with a fiery statement calling out, "Big Screech, all your people that was out did nothing for him. You come home thinking you the Black Pablo Escobar and fed him up. I helped your family make over $5 million legit dollars. It's not my fault it's all gone. You want to shine so bad you out here wearing the baby's jewelry. B, give the baby back his jewelry." That post sent shockwaves through the industry. Because despite all of 50's claims of financial support, reports surfaced suggesting Big Meech was broke. The millions were gone and the loyalty 50 once banked on had evaporated. To make matters worse, Lil Meech's finances made headlines again, and not for the right reasons. Rumors swirled that he was so strapped for cash he began selling personalized promo videos online for just $500 a piece.
50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up. I will buy your masters.
The same Lil Meech who once fronted a multi-million-dollar television series was now hustling for shoutouts. For 50, this wasn't just a money issue. It was proof that his entire investment, loyalty, and trust had been wasted, and of course, 50 Cent wasn't about to let that slide. The moment news broke about Lil Meech doing $500 promo videos, 50 jumped straight on Instagram and lit up the internet. He posted, "Big Screech got Meech doing promos. $500 a pop. Get you one while it lasts." That one post alone sent social media into a frenzy, but in true 50 fashion, he wasn't done. Not even close. Just when people thought the trolling had peaked, 50 hit post again. This time dropping a fake GoFundMe link allegedly set up for Big Meech himself. Let's be real, there's a strong chance 50 made it personally just to fuel the fire, because that's exactly how he operates. Controlled chaos, calculated humiliation. But regardless of who created it, the moment 50 shared it, the internet went wild. The GoFundMe page claimed Big Meech needed help covering his bills, including a $30,000 a month Airbnb rental. 50 couldn't resist piling on, adding his own caption, "Help Big Screech pay his $30,000 a month Airbnb. That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to quality control." Even after that viral moment, 50 doubled back once more, this time dragging Detroit rapper 42 Doug into the storm. He posted that Doug had allegedly given Big Meech $100,000, adding, "Your daddy, my ninja. You made a mistake giving Screech 100 bands. That could have gone to your team. You've been hard-headed."
Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Lil Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail.
And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got, you can make it go up. Hit me right.
Naturally, 42 Doug wasn't about to sit silent. He fired back on Instagram, making it clear that disrespecting Detroit and Big Meech wasn't something he'd tolerate. The feud exploded across every platform, receipts, posts, and rumors flying left and right. 42. Doug stood firm, defending Big Meech and the city's legacy, saying, "Can't no ninja convince me to go against Detroit. Show me Big Bra a rat, or shut the F up talking to me." That statement hit deep, especially in a culture where loyalty means everything. But it also raised a heavier question that no one could ignore. How does someone who once ran a multi-million-dollar empire and now has a major TV series built on their name end up in a position where they might need help paying rent? Tony Yayo may have quietly dropped the missing piece in a recent interview. According to him, after Big Meech came home, he was reaching out to Lil Baby, not for collaboration but for financial help. Yayo claimed Meech was venting about how his own son, Lil Meech, wasn't supporting him, even though he'd been handed more opportunity than most could dream of. That revelation alone painted a picture of tension behind the scenes that fans never saw. And that brings everything back to Lil Meech, because his recent moves haven't exactly helped the situation. According to Yayo, Lil Meech has been burning through money like gasoline on a match. Reports claim he dropped $100,000 on Chrome Hearts jeans and nearly $500,000 on a custom BMF chain, all while his father was allegedly struggling just to cover his basic housing costs. He's been rocking designer denim, flashing Richard Mille watches, and flaunting luxury cars online, yet still managed to catch feelings when 50 Cent unfollowed him. The optics, flashy. The logic, non-existent. Yayo summed it up in one sharp phrase: "It's giving broke with money." A harsh truth that hit harder than any diss track. But insiders said 50's frustration wasn't about the spending itself, it was about the lack of direction behind it. The issue wasn't luxury, it was the absence of a plan. 50 reportedly felt that the Flenory family had been given a blueprint for generational wealth, and instead of building with it, they turned it into a short-term stunt show. The opportunity for legacy turned into a cycle of poor decisions, and the cracks are now impossible to ignore. Just when it seemed like 50 might have moved on from the BMF drama, he reportedly pulled what fans are calling the ultimate boss-level move. Word on the street is that 50 Cent bought the halfway house that Big Meech is legally required to stay in. Let that sink in for a second. The same Big Meech who once ran a multi-million-dollar street empire is now allegedly paying rent directly to 50 Cent. And of course, 50 didn't keep it quiet. In a recent interview, he smirked and said, "Business is business." Then came the knockout jab. "I put that ninja on toilet duty, cleaning up felonish all day." It was pure, unfiltered 50, ruthless, strategic, and unapologetic. Within hours, the story went viral. Technically, Big Meech may be free, but if these rumors are true, that freedom comes with an ironic twist, one that places him right under the financial thumb of the man he's reportedly been feuding with. And as expected, fans online were eating it up, calling it the most 50 Cent move of all time. One commenter summed up the internet's reaction perfectly, writing, 50 is a real savage and has always stood on business. Nothing but respect. This is the greatest burn I've ever heard. 50 makes my whole month. That comment alone captured the mood of the moment. 50's brand of calculated chaos had fans cheering. But not everyone was convinced. Some people called it out as pure trolling. One post read, "This story is straight cap, ain't no way. Meech might not even be in a halfway house." Still, when it comes to 50 Cent, disbelief doesn't mean much. The man has built an empire on shock value and strategy. Whether it's true or not almost doesn't matter, because when 50 trolls, it hits like fact. He's got the money, the power, and the motivation to pull off a move like that just to prove a point. Even when it's petty, it's believable, because it's 100% on brand. Meanwhile, Lil Meech finally broke his silence and took a clear stance. He posted on Instagram, "Before I asked God for anything, I made sure I asked him to bring my father home to my family. My prayers were answered. I love you, Dad. Death before dishonor." That last line said everything. No subliminals, no hesitation. It was loyalty on full display. Lil Meech made it known that neutrality was over. Whatever middle ground once existed between his father and 50 Cent was gone for good, and that loyalty lit a fire under the entire situation. Because while 50 Cent built the BMF brand into a global franchise, the streets were noticing how the name was starting to be used in ways that didn't align with its roots. What really stirred the pot was Rick Ross stepping into the picture. The same Rick Ross who had never once fought to protect or preserve the BMF legacy, now suddenly positioning himself front and center. That's when things crossed the line from uncomfortable to personal. Because when your sworn enemy suddenly becomes your father's new best friend, it's not business anymore. It's war. Rick Ross didn't waste a second making his move. The moment Big Meech walked free, Ross swooped in like a vulture with cameras flashing and headlines ready, throwing together a massive welcome home concert that looked less like celebration and more like a calculated statement, a power play aimed straight at 50 Cent. But for 50 Cent, by the time the smoke cleared, it was already too late. His reaction came fast and sharp, a short message that said everything without saying much. What next season? Those 3 words hit harder than any diss. Fans instantly knew what it meant. The BMF series might be finished. And if that's true, it's not just a show in jeopardy. It could be the end of Lil Meech's Hollywood run altogether. Because once trust is gone in business, rebuilding is nearly impossible. And in this case, the bridge had already burned to ashes. Then came the twist that flipped everything upside down. Big Meech himself stepped in and made it painfully clear where his loyalty stood. And it wasn't with 50. That's when a darker theory began to take shape. What if this wasn't just betrayal between partners? What if Big Meech had been quietly sabotaging his own son's future from the very beginning? At first, it looked like typical industry chaos. Maybe 50 was being his usual ruthless self. Maybe Rick Ross was playing opportunist, or maybe Big Meech was simply chasing his own post-prison bag. But when you step back and look at the full picture, it starts to look deeper, like something much more personal. This could be less about business and more about blood. A hidden father and son power struggle disguised as a label war. Fans online have begun speculating that Big Meech's actions might be rooted in envy, that quiet resentment some parents feel when their children succeed in the very space they once ruled. Instead of embracing the success, that jealousy can turn into competition. And in this case, it may have destroyed everything they built together. Instead of celebrating the son who helped carry his name and legacy into a new generation, Big Meech may have tried to outshine him, and in doing so, burned every bridge Lil Meech still needed to cross. What could have been a powerful redemption arc for the BMF legacy, a father and son reclaiming their story, now looks more like the collapse of a dynasty. With 50 Cent stepping back, BMF is hanging on by a thread. Starz hasn't confirmed another season. 50 has hinted that it could be over, and Rick Ross, legally, he can't touch anything BMF related. 50 still owns the rights. That means, in the end, all the chaos might have been for nothing. But the question everyone's asking now is, what really happened? Did Lil Meech truly betray 50 for $10 million? Or was Big Meech orchestrating the whole thing from behind the curtain, pulling strings and controlling the moves? Was this betrayal disguised as loyalty? Or just another case of 50 betting on the wrong person? Let us know what you think down below. Was this a setup, a power play, or pure family drama turned public? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more real, unfiltered breakdowns like this, Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the next video because this BMF story, it's only just getting started.